when Mother Earth's crust has crumbled from the skin down to the bone. Wash the bones of such beginnings, waves that left the ancient shores, this yarn of life that Earth's still spinning. Never could have asked for more. And I have crawled right to the center, the resting place of Cairo's kings, pyramids of ancient splendor, a heard song the desert sings. For out of deserts rise religions, mark the way, their one true path. Woe betide who dares to question, sift the wheat out from the chaff. Wash the bones of such beginnings, waves that left the ancient shores, this yarn of life that Earth's still spinning. Never could have asked for I have touched great stones standing in the ring on Salisbury Plain. Countless questions rise demanding untold secrets unexplained. We've seen the painted beast stampeding, ochre mains and charcoal horns, in the caves where bygone beings lit the torch where light was born. Wash the bones of such beginnings, waves that left the ancient shores, this yarn of life that Earth's still spinning. Never could have asked for more. Never could have asked for more.
So, Steve, thank you for having me round to your house to
Well, thank
talk
you.
about the
Thank
new
you.
album as well.
Thank you ever so much for coming round.
Yeah. So the new album we have it here is called Last Call. So why have you called it Last Call, Steve?
Well, as it says on the tin, on the album, that it is the last call, in effect. I can't see myself writing another album's worth of material. The whole scene's changed anyway. I mean, people don't even think in terms of albums so much anymore. And I know a lot of people, my generation, my age, have still got CD players, but there's also quite a few who haven't. And so it's and also I don't the impetus to write, or the necessity to write a whole bunch of songs again. I think I'm not sort of saying never, but I will probably just write and release them individually. I think, you know, and, but I also write maybe a bit more instrumental music. But yes, I don't feel that that burning desire to, you know. Most of my kids are writing them as well. I think it's time.
Outsourcing them.
There's a whole new generation writing songs. I mean, I've written quite a few over the years. You know, so it's kind of.
Well, the main thing now is that the songs do seem so up to date as well on this album. It's you're sort of addressing people coming to your door and canvassing you and things like that.
Well, yes, yeah. I mean, I just. Ideas started flowing, and I thought, well, if I do a last album, I want to give it my best shot.
Yeah, well, you've certainly done that.
And so and it was a pleasurable experience, recording with a friend, Wally, who did just a great idea, great job of it.
Well, the first song is called Apple Tree. Is it Apple Tree?
Apple Tree Town.
Yes, yes. So where's this song come from?
Well, you know, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a house that had you know, quite a large garden with a part of an orchard. There must have been a vast orchard at one time, but there was, and it you know, a lot of. I think it was when I moved up to Yorkshire I realised how parsimonious they are about giving gardens up here.
Yeah.
Because so there were these lovely fruit trees that had been laid down by previous owners, and mature trees, a beautiful selection of different kinds of apples, pears and plums. I remember green gauged plums were just gorgeous, and so just basically what I would gorge on fruit, and as would my friends who would come round as well, and especially during you know the early autumn when everything was very ripe, and I remember the place was festooned with fruit, rotting fruit and all kinds of fruit, and wasps all over the place. But there was a certain kind of madness would descend, I remember, and I don't know if it was because we were imbibing so much fruit and it was fermenting, or whether we were getting high off the fumes. There started an argument in the Chester Folk Club. I said, is there any scientists who can back me up on this? And once the cat put his hand up and said, it's actually totally rubbish, you know, we can't possibly. And then another one said, excuse me, but
so, speaking as a cider drinker,
we just watched it. It was like ping pong. Watching it. Said, excuse me, we've got a gig to do. That was great. Yeah, and yeah. So really, it's just fondly remembering those days. You know, there's that wonderful Dylan Thomas poem, Fern Hill, as I was young and easy under the apple boughs, and you know, that was me. Yeah.
Zagging around, that sunlight in the apple tree town. Tiptoe stretching, skin all shiny, tuck the right ones down. Red and rosy in the apple tree town. In the apple tree town. In the apple tree town. Benny's nettles, such short trousers, back the tears, but that memory's sweet across all the years. Lick the nectar from the fingers, or the orchard's crown, when my dominion was the apple tree town. Ah, the apple tree town. Yeah, the apple tree town. But I have heard that the land has passed through so many hands, where the orchard it once stood, not a single tree still stands. Built a castle in the branches, watch the world below. Through the brambles, where the old ones wouldn't go. Mouldering fruit, sweet fermentation, I played the giddy clown. Such abandon in the apple tree town. In the apple tree town. In the apple tree town. In the apple tree town.
So, who are the main players on the album?
Well,
Yeah.
Hugh Bradley, who I work a lot with
Yes.
on double bass, and he also played a bit of flute as well.
Oh, cool, right.
And I drew a line at mandolin. He's a great mandolin player.
Right.
And Keith Warmington, my very old good friend from Bristol, came up and put some harmonica on. And
Because he was on your first album as
my
well.
very first album.
So he's bookended you as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's quite right that he should, you know,
Yeah.
and he's very dear to me, and it's just, I love his playing.
Yeah.
And Richard Curran, who also I've worked a lot with, going back to the album I made with Maggie Boyle, Moore and Mesa. In effect, he's his own string quartet, because he now has played cello, viola, and fiddle. So he's done great parts for the quite a few of the songs on the album. Who else? Johnny Fewing's an old friend, played a bit of banjo on one of the songs. Johnny's a great banjo player, and he's got a great radio show of his own out of Whitstable, and called Folk Jazz, Blues, Jazz and Beyond, that's right, or Jazz, Blues and Beyond. Alan Clark played a lovely bit of pedal steel on a couple of things. Oh, Martin McGroty! How could I possibly play some great electric guitar on a couple of the songs? Yeah.
Who was drumming on it? Okay.
Well, oh yes, so Tony Orrell, another old friend from Bristol, played percussion and things, and Wally did some bit of drum on a couple of the pieces. Yeah, Tony Orrell, great percussionist. He's more of he's a jazz drummer really. He works a lot with Andy Shepherd, the great sax player down in Bristol, and yeah, so it's good to.
Yeah, it's quite a big ensemble when you listen to the entire album. It's
Yes, I think there's only a couple where the whole shebang, the whole motley crew are playing.
So the next song, Time and Tide, where does this song come from?
Well, I was down in Cornwall staying with my eldest daughters, and I just got that sort of strange interval, that C to an E, and to me it sort of sounded like the waves coming in. So I and it's hard writing about a song about the sea with us. So there's so many cliches start kind of rolling in with the waves. Yes. And time and tide is a cliche, but I thought, well, bugger it, I'll just go with it. And so the whole idea about the waves coming in and erosion, and but also picking up the refrain goes picking up shells, and we've all done it, listened. Yeah. But it's also the fascination of this shell that has been formed by just the sand and secretions from marine animals and things. And then there's I go on about the I can never go down to a beach if there's a few flat stones around without skimming.
Yes.
I think I got about a dozen once. So that's about the best I've got. I think, Dozens.
Yeah, I remember when we were rehearsing for the Wadsworth gig last year, you played me the opening tune to it, and I always thought it could be like a Dwayne Eddy piece or something like that.
Well,
it sounds like a big
got that. Yes, it's that. Yeah. Yes, it's. I know. I see. Yes, yeah, you're right.
You could imagine an entire sort of 5 minutes of things.
Yes, yeah.
There comes a time to choose. No time for tears when there's nothing to lose. Counting the waves, racing along, knowing the time and tide waits for no one. Washing away the tracks of your callow footfall, the telltale trace, those aimless wanderings, straight from the path, straight from the straight and narrow, skipping along to a song some siren sang, picking up shells, listening for answers, peering inside. Your life's the shape of time and tide. There comes a time to pack up face of the moon. Always it's time and tide calling the tune. Skimming a stone to glide between the rollers, counting the times, rise to rise again, but always is lost, always the stone is sinking, coming to rest in some secret sandy bed, picking up shells, listening for answers, peering inside, realize the shape of time and tide, picking up shells, listening for answers, peering inside, realize the shape of time and tide. There comes a time to choose.
When I first moved down to London, I lived in this, I got this bed sit in this big house off the Holloway Road in North London. And most of the other people in this place were Scottish musicians, who had a band called the Dream Police, and they kind of, half of them morphed into the Average White Band.
All right, I was going to say.
So they kind of. So it was great, and they became good friends. I still see Hamish a lot. He played on my second album, and so it's basically looking back at those times. And I remember there was this guy, I think he came from Nigeria, and he had the garden flat, which was the best flat, but he was this mysterious character who hardly anybody saw, and so there was always conjecture about what he did. I think he worked on the Circular Line, he worked for the Underground, right, so it's just a kind of about how his life may have been, and so it's a bit of, but the musically speaking, that goes right back to Loughborough days, playing with Dave Evans. We had a duo, and we used to do an old American song called The Crawdad Ho. You get a line, I get a pole, honey. And Dave would have this, kind of like interlocking piece as well. Great. And so I thought, when Dave died, I went back to think some of the things we played together, and they were, I could remember them, and they would kind of come through, and that one in particular, and I thought, well, it's I'm just gonna. It's a simple thing, but it's got a nice rolling kind of syncopation.
Again, it's not the usual sort of interval for a blues song, really.
No.
Great.
So with a nod to Dave, dear old Dave. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, theme-wise, it very much would fit with your first album, actually. With I think like your train song on that as well. There's a few. In fact, my daughter Molly was when I played her one of the songs, Night Follows Day, and she said, "Oh, Dad, it sounds just like it's off your first album." I said, "I know, it's nice to know I've advanced over here, not a jot." But it is what it is.
It's one more day on the run around. stranger to love, you're a stranger to the skies. It's one more day on the circle line. One more day, gonna lose your mind, going round and round in this goldfish bowl. It's precious little gold is yours to hold. There's a face in a faraway land that in dreams calls your name, and your heart she still holds in her hand. One day you may return to reclaim. There's a face in a faraway land that in dreams called your name, and your heart she still holds in her hand. One day you may return to reclaim. Will you be forever chained, be condemned to always remain a prisoner of those fading memories, forgetting what it was once to feel free? Run around, run around, and let's run around. Up and down and run around. It's up and down and run around.
Well, I was kind of, I just love that kind of Scotty Moore type playing, and there's also elements of, not so much Bruins in this one, but it's almost a more sort of Blind Boy Fullery kind of, it's got that kind of feel. So I just was playing around and with a bluesy idea, and not even thinking about this. Strangely enough, it was this one that started the whole impetus for the album, because, and I was no, that's the wrong one. So it's got those sort of bluesy elements and all that. So it just came together, and lyrically, it's a blues, and it's talking about the passage of time, as quite a few of these songs.
I was going to say, the
surprise,
theme seems to be.
But yeah, it's still kind of, there's an element of optimism there.
Yeah.
You know, obviously with the last refrain, one day the sun will shine. You know, so it's kind of, you know, I mean, I'm a fairly optimistic character.
It's a bit like This Little Light of Mine or something like that.
That's right.
It's like optimistic.
It is. You know, that's right. Yeah. And by biding time, you know, it's almost like hints of the Everly Brook. You know, so it's who knows what's going to come percolating.
It is sort of like proto rock and roll sort of sound.
Well, I
overall,
suppose it is that kind of that's
it's
sort
got
of
like the jumpy echo of like electric guitar.
I could have played it on the electric guitar, but but also because it's got a kind of a jivey kind of thing, and it was almost. And I wanted when Martin was when we were kicking it around. I said, "How about like those simple, you know." Almost like a Glenn Miller kind of thing, you know, playing the guitar like you can imagine the sort of, you know, the
big band,
the brass section,
okay.
Which are kind of simple lines, really, a lot of those Glenn Miller things, but they're so effective.
Yeah, it's punctuating, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
It
right.
comes through,
Yeah.
Then biding my time, biding time. Someday that sun will shine. Well, I had a nudge to go. Such a restless mind to roam. Now I can't see my way home, and the years go slipping by, and the clouds roll way up high. It's just a raindrop in my eye. Then biding my time, biding time. Someday that sun will shine. Well, there ain't no rhyme or wrong. Is life such a tangled song? All the dreams I ever had are gone. Then biding my time, biding time. Someday that sun will shine. But in spite of everything, I still find voice to sing. Sometimes that bell still rings. Then biding my time, biding time. Someday that sun will shine. And biding my time, biding time. Someday that sun will shine. Someday that sun will shine.
So your instrumental piece, there's the Magnus Opus, I think you were calling it.
Well, that's called, which is
that's
the.
cool.
It's just so much stuff comes percolating. So I keep using the word percolate, but there's so much. So many my influences. There's obviously touches of Davy Graham there, but Bert. There's some kind of Brazilian, South American music coming through. So it's kind of a melange.
It's you.
Well, I suppose that's what it is. Yeah. So it's kind of like a kind of a bit of a journey on the old fingerboard, down memory lane kind of thing. And,
yeah, it's definitely a show off piece.
but it's also it's actually this. That's almost like Villalobos, This middle section of that, he goes into a kind of arpeggio. It's not quite the same. I had mine slightly different. But, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
No,
I wouldn't want to play it myself. I'd be going wrong.
No, I mean it's kind of you. I have a go at it, and if it comes, it's great, But a lot of time it's like having a run at the high jump.
Have you tried it live yet? Or?
No, I haven't.
Right.
No. Oh, well, I will do.
Yeah.
I will do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too good not to play, I think.
Yeah.
So when you were recording the album, did you just use this guitar, or were you using a sort of selection of?
No, just this guitar. Oh, I did one on a nylon string guitar.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
In fact, I had initially wrote that the instrumental on the nylon string guitar.
Yeah.
But kept making too many mistakes.
Yeah. You need to go back to what you're familiar with. Sometimes.
Well, I suppose. I mean, I've been playing nylon string guitar for years and years, as well as the steel string, and it's lovely. I've started taking it on gigs with me again, because it's nice to nice contrast. Yeah. I mean, I used to have this 10-string guitar, but it was a bit too twangy. I kind of think in my old age I've kind of left a lot of the twang.
People might be
twangy behind.
Yeah.
So I like sort of more sort of mellowy, rounder sounds all the time.
Yeah.
So this has got enough twang for me.
So on the new album as well, you've included one traditional track, which
Yeah.
is Sweet Primroses. Do you have a favourite version of that before you've...
Well, funny enough, on the album that Maggie Boyle and I did of Moore and Mesa, we recorded it with her singing it, and I just love. It's a lovely song.
Yeah.
As I roll down on a midsummer's morning to view the fields and to take the air down by the banks of the sweet primroses, there I spied a life there with 3 long steps. I stepped up to her, not knowing her as she passed me by. I stepped up to her, looking for to view her. She appeared to me like some virtuous prize. Oh, said Fanny, where are you going? What's the occasion for all this grief? I can make you as happy as the finest lady if you would give me one small relief. Stand off, for you are deceitful. You are deceitful and false young man, for it's you that has torn my poor heart all asunder, and to give me comfort lies all in vain. Are your parting words I well remember, when last you led my poor heart astray. Then many's a dark and cloudy morning turns into a bright sunshiny day. So I'll go down some lonesome valley, when a man on earth shall barely find, where the pretty little small birds all cease their voicing, and every moment blows lustrous wine.
So if we look at this, we've got quite the bookend of
Yeah,
album
the
one.
very first one. Yeah,
Yeah.
out of Bristol, the village thing. Yeah, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the.
What an amazing career to have, and long may it continue, I say.
Oh, Peter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming over.